Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes! Oh, amazing. Oh, yes. Oh, my Brilliant. Terrible news. I am the only man again. Where is Charles? Where is Charles? Oh, dear.
No boys.
No. Okay, right. Okay, now we did this activity before, but because Alice is very irritating, she wants me to do something again that we've already done. Okay. Right. Everyone, say hello to Manuel's mommy and daddy. Hello, Manuel's mommy and daddy. Say hello to Manuel's mommy and daddy. Excellent. And yes, yes, exactly. See, Wendy comes with the perfect coat for this. Yeah, exactly. Wendy, sexy director Seamus said that you have to report down to him immediately.
Me what?
Sexy director Seamus said you have to report to him immediately.
Okay.
Because you have to do something about the Thai exam or something. Okay, right. And Wendy, what do you call this part of your hand? This part here.
This part?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know, thank goodness. Okay?
Spanish? I don't know.
Exactly. In Chinese, in Cantonese, do you know the name for this? No, nobody knows. Nobody knows except for freaks like Rebecca and Seamus. Okay? It's called the web of the thumb. The web of the thumb. Okay, like a spider. The web. By the way, do you know the word scold? I used that word with Seamus. I asked him, should I scold Wendy before she goes down? It's like this. Don't do that. That's scolding. You're disciplining the kid, for example. Okay, that's what scolding is. In Ireland, actually, we have another expression we would use. We use a phrasal verb. Nowhere else uses that. Okay, we say to give out to the kid. Okay, so it means that you're disciplining or scolding the kid. You're saying, don't do this, etc. Okay, so parents will scold their children, or teachers might scold their students, or whatever when they're young. Okay, right. Now, as I said, Alice asked for this very boring exercise. So if you don't like this exercise, you can criticize that woman there. Okay, right there. Okay, so it's about Good morning, Carlotta, or should I say good afternoon? Okay, exactly. Carlotta, before we go on, do you know the Italian word for that? That part of the hand. Do you know the Italian word for that? No. It's impossible. Nobody knows except those two people. Okay? Now you know. The web is called the web of the thumb. Yeah, but no. To be honest, you will know more than 99% of English speakers, I would say. Okay, so this thing we did before. Some of you might have. Interview.
Oh, boys.
Sorry, just 1 second there now. Thank goodness. Okay, at least another man. Okay, exactly. All right, so the interviews, yeah. I know, and look at Carlotta, she's there. She's like this. Okay. I need some security here, Carlotta. I need some security. If I shoot him, he might leave. Okay? Okay, so interviews. Now, I am not an expert at giving interviews because, first of all, I'm not usually the boss. I have given interviews as the director in the school, but that's all. I'm not an expert in your industries. So I'm going to ask you to create an interviewer. Okay, so if you're, for example, I don't know, in the finance industry or in business or whatever, you're going to have different kinds of interviews that you're going to get questions that I wouldn't know to ask. I'm a mathematics graduate or a physics graduate. I don't know the kinds of interview questions I should ask you. I can guess, so I've had many jobs in the past and I had to go for interviews, but I want you to get good questions. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do, get ChatGPT, open it up. Okay, exit. And I'm going to ask you to instruct ChatGPT to be the interviewer. But first, I want you to choose the job that you expect you're going to be interviewed for. Now, this might not be your dream job, okay? Your dream job might be actually doing nothing, okay? Staying at home and just relaxing, okay? But think of an think of a job that you expect to be interviewed for soon, or in the next few months or half a year or whatever, etc. You understand that? So Dr. Fernanda is trying to get a job with social care work, okay? So in that context, not as a doctor, okay? Even though she's a doctor. I would prefer her to try that interview first than try to do a medical doctor's interview, okay? In a hospital, because it's not realistic in the next 5 months or whatever. Maybe it is, I don't know. Okay, you understand that? So choose the job that you expect to be interviewed for. So if you want to be a barista or whatever, actually the person who isn't wanted to be a barista, she's not here today, typical, okay? So Paula, Paula was asking. Oh, typical. She's gone to the bloody interview the day I do interviews. Okay, it's the usual rubbish for me, okay? So let's say, for example, you want to be a barista or whatever in a cafe. So what you would ask ChatGPT to do is, well, first, say, I am interviewing, or I should make it clearer first. I am applying for the position or for the job of whatever it is your job is, okay? I would like you to act as the interviewer. Now, obviously, you want a job here where you get interviews. Like, for example, you're not going to say, I'm applying for the job of prostitute. Okay? You're not going to get an interview for that. I'm applying for the job of farmer. Farmers don't have to generally do interviews. You understand that? So a job where you're going to realistically be interviewed, like barista or whatever. I would like you to act as the interviewer. Okay? Everyone understand that? Then they're going to ask you questions. But I don't want you to do it with the text. I want you to do it with the audio. So as an example, you've done this before, yes? Okay, can you look at Dr. Fernanda? Okay, so Dr. Fernanda is going to do this, okay? So first of all, she'll put in this information. So just put in, I'm applying for the job of barista or something like that. Well, you can, this one.
I'm applying for the job of healthcare assistant. I would like you to act as the interviewer.
Stop. Okay, so you will get the text here. Then you'll just put that in. Right. Okay, and you will get the text. Okay. Now, however, you see down here, you will be able to do the audio version of this. So I would like to have the interview in audio format. Can you act as the interviewer?
Hi there, thank you for coming in today. To start us off, could you tell me a little about yourself and what attracted
Blah, blah, blah. You understand that? When you are finished, it will give you a record of the conversation. You understand that? Yeah. Now, the reason I want you to do it like this is because in that conversation, you are going to make mistakes. At the end, you can ask ChatGPT or whatever artificial intelligence you're using to give you corrections. But there's another thing that I want you to do, and I will do this 4 times this week. So at the start of the class, instead of saying, oh, what did you do yesterday? I'm going to ask you to do this. You are, at the end of your interview, you're going to put up vocabulary that you see in this text that you don't understand or have never seen before. You understand that? We'll put it on the board. I guarantee that over the 4 days you're going to see similar vocabulary. You might even see similar vocabulary between all of you. You understand that? Okay, so now usually, because you have to do it in audio, it's a bit easier if some of you go outside and find a quieter part of the building. Okay? So I'll give you maybe 2 people or 3 people in here, and the rest of you go out and do the same thing. Okay? You understand that? Okay, right. So first of all, give it that information. I'm applying for the job of blah blah blah. I would like you to act as an interviewer, and then you have to use the audio subsequently. And I will say, so Carlotta, Daphne and Eri, you can stay in the class. And from Ying Hong down to Charles, I want you to go out of the class and find a quieter place, okay? Just to do the interview. Okay, so Ying Hong, you and Alice as well, out, just so you get more, you can go in, I think one of those classrooms is free as well.
I don't have the, because I don't have the app, you remember?
Oh,
The
damn it.
I try to download, but because my...
Well, okay, you just do the typing version.
Okay.
But
But
it's
in
much
the past,
cracker.
But in the past, last week, in the past,
In the long
last
past.
week, I had an interview, fake interview with ChatGPT because I had a real interview, and so I wanted to practice.
But it was like that.
No, because I was in,
Oh,
I
yeah.
with my PC, my laptop, and I spoke with him.
Now, did you record
Yes.
the words that you didn't know?
I don't.
I want you
I
to-
didn't write the words about.
Okay,
Yes,
look at the
I
conversation.
Yes. Wait.
So I want you to go back and look at the conversation that you had and identify words that you didn't know. Now, usually this takes about 10-15 minutes. Okay, girls, you know what to do?
Yeah, just putting.
Okay, so do you know how? So you're probably going to have to separate a bit so that you don't interrupt each other. Okay, you know what you have to do? Okay. Okay, now usually, now I would like you to say, okay, well first, so when you press this button, I would, you will say this. Okay.
Just saying the.
Yeah, yes, you just say that,
Yeah.
and then it will start the interview. So be prepared. Did you do a search.
Got it. Let's keep it
Yes,
conversational. So,
I don't know
tell
the.
me a little about yourself.
Yes, because
Think of
I
one word
use.
that might be in it.
I need to.
I'd like to have the interview in spoken form.
Can we practice about the interview that I have today? So we can write or something? Yes, we're working on it. Fine. That's fine.
Okay, so at the end of this, you should say, can you please correct my contributions and give me a list of the vocabulary that is advanced.
Okay.
Or also, you
I
can
write.
Now, no typing, Daphne, all speaking.
Okay.
Now, I think you will have a limit. I don't think you can speak forever, but as much as you can. So, Ari, have you started?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to speak using this. Okay, so now press and give that instruction. Now, don't look if you don't understand something. Don't look. Don't stop it. Continue speaking. If you don't understand something, say, "Oh, I don't understand. Could you repeat, please?" Okay, so when you're getting an interview like that, Daphne, they're just giving you a list of questions. You want an interactive interview, so say that. Okay, so I would like to have interactive. Okay, where you ask me, you can say this, you don't have to write. Ask me one question and then I respond. Okay.
I would like to have an interaction with the spoken form, where you ask me one question and then
Right. You did it.
yeah.
Okay, you're doing it again.
In spoken form.
Trying to get internet connection. Do you know how to do this?
I know, but
Why are you all in the same room anyway?
they say like they can't send me the audio.
Hello, I would like you to act as the interviewer. I am trying to apply for the job of barista. Could you give me interview questions? Act as the interviewer, please.
Of course, I'll act as the interviewer for the barista position. Let's begin. Hi. Thanks for coming in today. Let's start with an easy one. Can you tell me a little about yourself? And what interests you in working as a barista?
No,
As
it's
a barista,
no,
you
no.
interact with customers frequently. How do you handle difficult or upset customers?
I don't.
And can you share an
Oh,
example?
shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I don't know. I'm an idiot, so you should never hire me. Oh, sorry, I stopped. There's a record of what I said. Okay? You can do this. Okay? All you have to do is change the position, not from barista to whatever it is you want. I mean, you sit over there, so if you sit here, then your audio is going to interrupt Charles, and Charles' audio is going to interrupt you. You're going to hear it, and then ChatGPT is going to get confused. You understand that? Okay? Okay, so this. For you generally. What form of ChatGPT have you got? The app?
Maybe in the mobile phone it's different.
Well, he has a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have access to that. Obviously, the interview should be in English, you know? I'm pretty sure your Chinese is pretty good.
I need to change the language.
Just put the text in English, you know. Just put the text in English.
Can you get an upgrade? Check if there's an upgrade for that. Oh, me. What phone is that?
Hiya, I'm looking for jobs.
No. You don't need it. It's free. I just don't know why. Show me what app you have.
No, it's not the app.
Oh, I know. If you have the app, then
Here are a few example questions you might be
okay,
able to
so download the app.
You're welcome. Best of luck with your interview preparation.
Now you wanted to do the bloody interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here are some more example questions.
Give me the interview.
Absolutely. Here's the full customer service logistics interview script for you. You can use this in the text.
Sorry, please stop. I would like you to have an interview, an interactive interview, where you ask me one question
Tell us
and
a
then
little
I
about
reply.
yourself and why you're interested in the customer service logistics role. In logistics, customer satisfaction. Can you tell us about a time when you handled a difficult situation with a customer and how you resolved it? This position involves managing deliveries and coordinating shipments. How would you prioritize tasks when handling multiple urgent orders at the same time? Timely communication is crucial in logistics. How would you handle a situation where there's a delay in delivering spare parts?
Sorry, please stop.
What steps would you
Please
take
stop.
to keep the customer informed?
I would like you to have the conversation in a way where you ask me one question, short question, and I reply.
Got it. Let's have a back and forth interview where I ask you one question at a time. And you respond. Hi, thanks for joining us today. Why are you interested in the customer service logistics role?
Hi, I'm interested in this position because I have experience with delivery spare parts and some kind of logistic about importation in Mexico.
Can you repeat? Thank you.
That sounds great. Can you tell me about a time when you had to handle a difficult customer for a complaint related to a delivery?
Yeah, for sure. When the spare parts stop in
10 seconds.
I see. How did you handle the situation when the spare parts were delayed?
at first, look what is the problem. Next one, talk with the company that is shit. Oh, this thing is tough.
Thank you.
How do you prioritize tasks when you're in the
No, it's nothing.
We have a program that helps.
How much memory do you not have?
No, I.
So, Ying Hong, that interview was very fast. Do it again.
Editors at the same time, and also we
is especially for you. So do you know what to do? Okay, so I want you to forget about the listening. So I want you to do the audio version of this.
And answer.
Yes, but make sure that it's an interactive interview where it's not just, okay, now here's 100 questions. You want back and forth. Ready?
Yes.
You're doing a lot of typing. I want you to speak. So what, first of all, what's your job? You want to be cabin crew, is it? I would like to have an interactive interview where you act as the interviewer. The job that I'm applying for is cabin crew. Oops, sorry. Well, that was very smart. I forgot it. Hello, I would like to have an interview. Okay. Sorry. Hello, I would like to have an interview with you where you act as the interviewer. I am applying for the job of cabin crew, flight attendant. I would like to have an interactive interview with you where you ask me one question and then I respond. So correct your contributions, that's what you should ask. Then give me more appropriate answers and then record the advanced vocabulary that you find in the interview. So do that now. Now it's much better, Carlotta, when you speak, because what is your number one problem?
Yes, but now I can speak, or I use a mobile phone or something for to interview now.
Oh yes, but no, don't worry about now. But if you use your computer or whatever, much better if you can speak because of the comprehension issue.
Yes,
but this you can do now, so you can ask ChatGPT for your. So what grammatical mistakes did you make? What vocabulary? Yes. So but ask it to give you the mistakes.
Okay.
But don't do that here. Write that here. Okay. Ask it here.
Here.
Yeah, so obviously you will need to find the grammar mistakes. ChatGPT, you don't know, so ChatGPT will pull them out for you. And then you want more appropriate answers, and then you want to find the advanced vocabulary from that. Okay?
For example, nowadays I think that we need to learn more about
Okay, finish.
Right. Okay. I gave you a score. Okay. Now go into the classroom and look at the instructions 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I want you to put the instructions into there. Okay. Still, booking.com here in the side of the Golden Home. Very good. Did you find the app?
Yeah, but because in this mobile phone I don't have Play Store, I have to use another one, but there's not all the apps, so sometimes.
What's the name of the, or what brand of phone?
Huawei P40 Lite. And I have to do this, download
Okay, very good. I'm not sure if it has the.
It doesn't work. I don't know. I can write the answer and he answers to me. It's not the same.
Yeah. You have a computer in?
Yeah, in my home.
And it has a microphone, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I
should
have
try
a
with that.
microphone.
You know, show me yours.
Yeah.
Now, is this perfect? Thanks, thank you. Now, Ying Hong, these questions are yes, yes, thank you, thanks, thanks.
No, I will organize something.
Okay, now that, go into the classroom, that's very, very short. Your answers are very short. So go into the classroom and I want you to put in the instructions that are on the board, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So at the top of the board you will see 1, 2. Very unusual, but anyway. Well, you'll see what the others do. And you will be able to do it on your computer.
Yeah.
But I would try, if I were you, try to fix that tonight. Because we will do it again 3 times. Okay, everyone who is finished, I want you to put in the 1, 2, 3. Okay, put in those instructions. Okay, correct my contributions, give me more appropriate answers, and then record the advanced vocabulary. Yeah? You will do this 4 times this week. This is the first one.
But I answered 3 questions. I need to answer more.
Well, if you come early tomorrow, like Seamus told you to come, you will have more material. But for today, just put in that. Oh, by the way, there was one more comment. There were 2 comments on the YouTube channel. And yesterday, one person commented, "Oh, thank you very much for allowing us to see this material. But why does the teacher have a toy gun?"
They won't understand.
You don't understand the vibe.
Exactly.
You're not a regular.
Exactly. Only an amateur I am. Okay, now when you have finished this, you should have a record of what mistakes you made, a better answer to what you contributed, and you should have vocabulary that is advanced. Okay, you should have 3 things. Now, you will do the exact, tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to do the exact same interview. You're not going to change the position. So Eri said, for example, she wants to be a flight attendant, okay, or working cabin crew or whatever. She's going to do the exact same thing tomorrow. And maybe the questions will be very similar. So you should improve when you do it 3 more times, okay? Now, you will also be able to use some of the language that you learn here today, hopefully, or not. If you're not very good at it, then you will see your limitations when it comes to interviews. Okay, but every one of you is going to put vocabulary on the board. You are going to come up and write the vocabulary that you got from those texts. Okay? So up you come when you're ready. So, I don't know, Charles. Okay, if you're ready, you come up, I'll give you a pen, and you put your vocabulary on the board. Okay. And if you have nothing, you can look at Wendy's. Wendy, poor Alice, has nothing because she can't afford ChatGPT. Actually, she can't afford a phone, to be honest. Now, you should all have vocabulary to put up here. It's one L. One L, isn't it? Yeah, two T's and one L, yeah.
Two C and one L.
Yeah. And Daphne, you're with the PH, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who else? Alice is Alice. Okay, so the rest of you should have vocabulary that you can put on that board.
My time. Oh, okay, we need to write.
You need to write the vocabulary. You can put up one word, you can put up expressions, it doesn't matter. Okay, but you have to put something up.
Is effectively.
Effectively, yeah.
Effectively.
Now, it should be more than one word, hopefully. Well, I'm not sure if that's a very good marker, but... Okay, I'll give you about 4 minutes for this. Okay, so all of you have to put something on the board. So Carlotta, just move a bit. That's okay. You were unfortunately behind chance.
Okay, I'm wait.
Actually, here, look, this is easy. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's do you understand all of those?
Yeah,
And you see when you're doing the interview, you have lots of vocabulary. So when you go to the real ones, hopefully some of the vocabulary that you don't know will come up that you prepared. Yes.
Forwarding. It says it's coordinating the shipment of goods via a third party. What does it mean?
Okay, so freight. Do you know what freight is? What's freight?
Like the shipment, no?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the third party is you're sending it to someone, but you have to use another.
Like DHL, FedEx. Okay.
Now, to be honest, I am not an expert in that field, so that's a guess.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's.
Okay.
You work in logistics or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not an expert in logistics. Okay, Wendy, Eri is Japanese, so she's very polite. So just let her move in there a little bit. Okay? did. I knew you did. Okay. Did you ask for the more appropriate answers
Yes.
and then extract the vocabulary from that? You can ask for more advanced vocabulary that you might use in an interview if you wish. Now, Mary is trying to write in calligraphy here, so it's really beautiful. Okay, I'll give you another 90 seconds, so be fast. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay. Now you're going to do this again. Now, to be honest, I would say the last time we did this, we had much more vocabulary on the board. Okay, it was more. It took a while for you to start, except Wendy and Dr. Fernanda who'd done this before. So it took you a while to get started. So your interview was short. That interview should be about 15 minutes long, okay?
Where's Wendy?
I think she went down to maybe the toilet or something.
Oh, okay, clear.
Okay,
Sorry.
so the interview should be 15 minutes long, not 10 seconds long. And say, thank you, yes. If it's like that, you're not going to get the job, okay? 100% you will not get the job. So you need to learn vocabulary that the interviewers are going to give you and that they want back. So this is the interview correction, okay? You're going to correct it and you're going to get better answers. These are the things that you start using in the interview. Now don't copy. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to memorize this phrase, because they're going to ask you a different question. You have to get better at grammar and your fluency to do well in an interview, but you need to know the vocabulary. This is how you learn the vocabulary, okay? So, is there any expression there that you would say, oh, I think that might be useful in most interviews? I would say that one. What's adaptability? What's adaptability?
Well, you can adapt.
So you're flexible.
Yeah.
Okay, so any situation that arises that is problematic, you can try to fix that problem and not get stressed. Okay, so you're adaptable. I would say this you have to be careful about. It depends on your job. If you're in an important job like social care, for example, it's important to have professional boundaries. Now, what are professional boundaries? Boundaries are what? Limits.
Limit.
Okay, so for example, if you're a prison guard, or you're a doctor, or even if you're a teacher, for example, you have to know where's the limit. Like, for example, I cannot joke about every topic, okay? Because it will offend a lot of people, and then I would lose my job, first of all, as well. Okay, you understand that? And a doctor has to have certain kind of bedside manner. Okay, so when they're beside the patient, that they can't say, "Oh, look at you, you don't have much long left." Okay, like this. Okay, that's probably not appropriate. Okay, excellent. Oh, look at you with your straight leg. Okay, for example. Okay, so you have to have professional boundaries. Professional boundaries. This, deal with problems and worries quickly. Okay, so this is definitely going to come up with a lot. What's deal with mean? Handle. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you're going to hear those words in many different interviews. Deal, handle, manage. And I'll give you another word that you might not know, cope. Cope with. So all of those words are basically synonymous. They have the same kind of meaning. How would you cope with the teenagers coming into the cafe and throwing Coca-Cola at you, which is what happens to poor Petrini, okay? Okay, so those kind of words you're definitely going to hear in an interview. Try to be polite and attentive. Now, if you say try to be polite and attentive customer service, that's not legitimate grammar. So you would have to say try to be polite and attentive to the customers. Okay? You can't say to customer service. Okay? So try to be polite and attentive to the customers. Okay? So again, if you're in a service job industry, in the service industry I should say, you're going to hear that quite a lot. Okay? Any job where you're dealing with the public, you're probably going to have that kind of expression. Enhancement. Now this word here should be enhancement. Now, the last time we did this, I'm pretty sure a lot of the times you heard the word enhance. What does enhance mean? Improve. You're very often going to see the word enhance. Okay? Key performance indicators. So what would be performance indicators for me as a teacher? Any ideas? What performance indicators might you have as a teacher?
When a student go to another level.
Exactly. How many of my students are moving up a level? And how many of students are staying here for 7 years? Okay, for example, that could be a performance indicator for me. How many times do my students run down crying to Seamus about being shot by a water gun? Okay, that could be a performance indicator as well. So key performance indicators are the important performance indicators in your jobs. So again, you're not teachers, your jobs have different performance indicators, okay? So you want the ones that are relevant for you. If you don't know what they are, and I would encourage you to do this, ask. Ask it for key performance indicators, and probably they might come up in an interview. Or maybe you want to say them in the interview so that you look better as a candidate, okay? Major issue and big problem, okay? A major issue, big problem. Committed, okay? So if you're committed in this context, it means what? Oh, I'm a really committed worker. What does that mean? Dedicated, okay? I really want to do it, okay? I really want to do this job. And I will do my best when I have the job. Okay, I'm committed. Foster. This word is quite a common word in interviews as well. To foster. What jobs do you think I have as a teacher? What are my main jobs? Any ideas? If I'm teaching you, what are my main jobs?
Director, supervisor.
To
plan the class.
To what?
Plan the
Okay, to plan the class. What else?
Okay.
teach us how to learn by ourselves.
Okay, I'm trying to foster independent learning. Okay, that's one thing. Give me another thing.
Trying to analyze everybody here.
Okay, I'm trying to analyze everyone. What else?
For improvement.
Okay, I'm trying to assess and analyze for improvements, etc. But other jobs that you don't think of just one person. Think of the group. What else am I trying to do? What do I have to do for the class to work? Nothing? Again? Do I have to be the leader? Is that what I'm trying to do? Maybe I am, I don't know.
Try to work with different kind of
I am trying to foster relationships between the students. Yeah, I'm trying to make the students connect. I'm trying to foster it, trying to help it develop. Okay? So I can't use it for analysis, but I can foster independent learning. I'm trying to help that develop. I can't help analysis develop. Okay? But I can help connections between students develop, so I'm fostering this, etc. I'm trying to foster an enthusiasm, even if it's fake. Okay, you understand that? I'm trying to develop this. I'm trying to foster more men in the... No, I can't do that. Okay, so you understand that? This word is quite common in interviews. Okay, so how would you foster a good environment in the job that you have, or whatever, etc. Okay. Manage my time effectively. That's pretty obvious. I think a lot of you would need that. In Paula's case, what job are you using this for?
Sorry?
What job did you ask for?
Oh, I asked for waitress.
Okay, so waitress. So manage my time effectively. I don't know how that question would arise very often in a waitress job. Would it? Do you think it'd happen? I wouldn't ask a question like that. How would you manage your time effectively as a waitress? Well, I'd probably spend 15 minutes on my phone before I answer anything. I think it's fairly obvious, but maybe I'm wrong. Stay organized. Again, I don't know when you're a waitress or whatever, how to stay organized. Be organized, yeah, I don't know. Stay organized means don't change from being organized, I don't know. Stay calm and focused under pressure. I'm pretty sure that would be useful. Okay? So any synonyms of this, stay calm, under pressure, focused, blah, 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 they'll probably come up. So if you are trying to get the job as a barista or a waitress or whatever, find synonyms of that or expressions that are similar to that. Okay? This will not be useful for basically anyone in the class except Charles. But who cares? That's not important. The important thing is that he does well in the interview. Not that you do very well in an interview for logistics, because you're not going to do one. Okay? Supply chain coordination. What's the supply chain? Anyone know? You should know.
Yeah.
What is the supply chain?
The spare parts.
Yes, to some extent. Okay, so the suppliers, blah, 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 and the chain all the way down to the customer or whatever. Okay, so who buys the product? And coordination. How well are the distributors doing their job, etc. Stakeholders, they're the people who have an interest in the business. Okay, maybe they own part of the business, or maybe they are partly involved in the process of the selling and buying, etc. Freight is what? What is freight? You already told me.
Yeah, you know. The shipment.
Shipments, okay, the shipped products, okay, so this is freight. The products that you get from China, for example, have to come across the sea, usually across the sea, very often, the big containers. That's freight, okay? I don't think you would call it freight when you're using it on the plane. Usually it's for ships, okay? And back order management. So back orders, things that you have in the well, you tell me what back order management.
Back order management, I think it's work with a lot of at the same time, no?
Yes, so a lot of orders might be accumulating, and you don't have time to send them out all at the same time. So there will be a back order, okay? So there will be orders that you haven't been distributed yet. I forgot an N there for a second. So communicating efficiently, what does that mean? Okay, so do you think communicating efficiently is important as a teacher?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think that's important? Huh? Why do you think that's important? As a teacher, an Irish teacher. What is that? Huh? As it is, that's important. Okay? Of course, it's important, and I could not start speaking like this. Communicating efficiently, effectively, is probably important as a teacher and as a barista, etc. Most jobs, it's important to be a communicator who's quite efficient in their communication. Emotionally balanced. Now, what job were you asking for?
Customer service.
Okay, emotionally balanced. Now, what's emotionally balanced mean?
You have to control.
Yeah, you have to control your emotions. Yeah. Okay? It's not like, okay, Ying Hong, I don't like this food. Okay, this food is absolutely disgraceful. It's the worst coffee that I've ever drank in my life. And then Ying Hong goes, yes! Okay, that's it. Okay, you have to be emotionally balanced and mentally focused. Mentally focused as well. Okay? So again, I'm not really sure if you would really get that in an interview. If someone would say, oh, and how emotionally balanced are you? If you mention that you're emotionally balanced in an interview, probably they will be worried. Okay, they probably think this person needs to go to therapy. Okay? These ones here, these are, oh yes, okay, I'll do this first. Okay, the word willing means what? I have given you this before, willing. If you look over here, you will see will. Last will and testament. When do you get your, or when do you write your last will? Yes, when you're going to die. Okay, when you're going to die, you write down who you want to get your property. So maybe you'll have a house and you say, oh, I want to give it to my daughter or whatever, etc. Okay, you understand that? That's your will. The original meaning of will is like that. This is not true now, but it was the original meaning. Want. Okay? So this was the original way that English used to write the word will. It was willen. If you speak German, ich will means I want or I desire. And wollen is the infinitive of that verb in German. And wollen means something like want or volunteer. So if you say, for example, I will do it. If I ask you the question, who will go down to the shop for me? I will. Nobody says I'm going to. They say I will. And why? Because it's sort of like want or volunteer in that case. Okay? That's a bigger difference between will and going to than the usual ones that you learn. Okay? Most people will go, I will do it. Okay? I'll do it. Okay? So that's volunteering. And when you say willing, that's related to that. Oh, I'm willing to do it. Okay? So I want so there's sharks in this water. Okay, you understand a shark? Okay, there's sharks in this water, and there's some gold on the island across there. I want someone to swim across and get the gold for me. Who is willing to do it? I almost saw a hand there for Daphne, and then she went like that. Okay, Ying Hong, would you swim across for me? Would you swim across to the island and get the gold for me? Eri, as my new student. Okay, now there's sharks in this water. Only a few. And there's gold over on that island that I need. Would you be willing to swim across and get that gold for me?
No.
What a disgrace. What a disgrace. First shot. Okay, so what would you say about all the students here then? Are you willing?
No.
So what's the opposite of willing? Take a guess. Take a guess again? Yes, unwilling. You don't want to do it. Okay, you won't volunteer, you don't want to do it. So if you're willing to do something that the boss asked you to do, you will volunteer. So that's what that is. Okay, and it's a very useful word. Good fit. Okay, so this Daphne is writing for the blind community here. Okay, good fit. If you what's fit in clothes? When you're talking about clothes, do they fit? What does that mean? They're the correct size. Well, if you say you're a good fit for a company, what does that mean? Means you're the correct size for the company, is it? Yeah, you're the correct person. You're the appropriate person for this job. Like, for example, a creche. You understand a creche? What's a creche? A creche is like for the little kiddies, the school for the kids, okay? Like a kindergarten, okay? A creche, okay? You understand that? Yeah. Now, do you think that I would be a good fit for a creche? You think? What do you think? Like there's 70 kids there, all maybe 2 years of age. Do you think I'm a good fit for that position? Carlotta? You do? I hope you've never become a parent. Okay? So I'm probably very inappropriate for that job. Because what would happen? Stop crying. Okay? Yeah, be quiet. Okay? This would be a very inappropriate person to give that job to. You understand that? Yeah. So, who in this class do you think would be a good fit as a teacher in a creche? Carlotta, maybe. Carlotta has maybe the patience to do it, and she has a nice personality with the kids, possibly as well. I don't know. Maybe Carlotta is like very calm in the class, but outside she's like the Incredible Hulk. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Carlotta is a serial killer.
My dad says always that I'm a witch.
A witch? Well, what a charming father. I'm not sure he's a good fit for parenting. Okay? Very good. Okay, so this word you'll definitely see as well. Fast-paced environments. Now this word here, pace. What's pace mean? Has a few meanings. One meaning is this. Oh, the teacher was pacing up and down the classroom. Okay, so that's one meaning, walking up and down like that. But the most common one is this. Speed. And if you say something is fast-paced, it's quick. So for example, what jobs very often are quite fast-paced? Yeah, waitress or chef in a kitchen, for example, they have to work under a lot of pressure. Okay? So teaching is not generally fast-paced, okay? So fast-paced environments. What job were you looking for, Daphne?
Customer service.
Customer service, yeah. Most of those jobs where there are customer service and you have to act quickly, then you would say fast-paced environments. And then they'd probably say, how good are you in those circumstances? Maybe, for example, stay calm and focused under pressure. Okay, you would have to have that. And then finally, for a second there I was wondering what my brain is just switched off. I said, what word is Carlotta? It's a kid. Okay, right. So this word here is supposed to be outcome.
Yes.
Now what's an outcome? Result. Okay? So it comes out. You do something and then out comes the result. So what was the outcome of your, like for example, when they ask you about your work experience and what did you do in the past, so they're testing you about your abilities in the past, very often they'll ask you, and what was the outcome of you doing all of that? Oh, I succeeded and blah, 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 my boss gave me a promotion or whatever, etc. Okay? Next one then, sharp. If you're very sharp, what does it mean? Sharp. Yeah. I wouldn't say concentrated. So smart, quick, you're accurate at your job, you're probably fast as well. Okay, this person is quite sharp. They're not slow and oh my God, I don't know what to do. They're quick and they know how to do it. Okay, so that's what sharp means. Now the word scratch literally means this.
Yes, but I didn't remember, but now yes.
I'm pretty
from
sure.
zero. Start
No,
from
no.
zero.
Don't learn the word scratch. Learn the words from scratch. So from scratch means from zero. Nobody in this class joined this school and is learning English from scratch, to the best of my knowledge. Nobody here came to Ireland with zero English. You at least knew how to say hello and goodbye and thank you, probably. Okay? If you start from scratch, you know nothing. Okay? Nothing at all. Like, for example, if I ask you, okay, now I want you to learn Romanian. No, actually, that wouldn't be true for some of you. You might be able to guess. If I said learn Mongolian, okay, you would be starting from scratch. Nobody here, to the best of knowledge, knows any Mongolian. Sino-Bayartai, for example, okay? Don't worry, it's the only Mongolian I know. Hello to our Mongolian fans. Hello, Mongolia. Hello, Mongolia. Yeah, that's very good. Excellent. Good work. Okay? So we'll become the most famous English language channel for Mongolia. Yes, exactly. Oh, okay? You'll be celebrities. Oh, it's Alice. Oh my God. This launch means what?
The start of a project.
I don't know in your languages, in French there is a word. Does anyone? Is there a word that begins, for the people who speak Latin languages, is there a word that begins with the letter L in your language that is like that? Again? Which means what? Sort of like throw, yes? Okay. Well, that's sort of where that word comes from with space rockets. You throw the space rocket into the air, okay? And when does the space rocket get thrown into the air? When? At the start. At the start. Very good, Charles. It's lucky we have such an intelligent man here as well, okay? So the launch is the start, okay? So for example, when Tesla or Apple or whatever are launching their new products, they're introducing it to the public for the first time, okay? So that's what that means. And then the last one, meaningful. Can you guess what that means? Break it up. Break the word up. So what does that mean? It's what? No. Again? No. It's full of meaning. Okay? So if you see careful, what does that mean? Full of care. Be full of care. Okay, when you're doing something, be full of care. When it's meaningful, it means that it's full of meaning. That could be metaphorical meaning. So, for example, when you had your first kiss, Carlotta, was it very meaningful for you, or did you go?
Very meaningful.
No, never.
She forgot.
To be honest, I'm not really sure with Carlotta because her facial expressions are always like mysterious. So she went. Maybe. Okay, so I'm not sure if it was very meaningful. Okay, but I would guess for a lot of you, it was very meaningful when you had your first kiss or whatever, etc. Maybe either, like for example, Wendy, when you kissed Evandro for the first time. Okay, so now to be honest, I don't really care about individual words on this board, except that they might be repeated. Now, usually what happens is that we do this the second day, and we should be quicker. So this is taking a long time. This should take half an hour maximum, including all the interview, okay? So you do this for half an hour tomorrow, and maybe you'll find different vocabulary. What usually happens is that the vocabulary will be slightly different to this. You might get one or two words that are the same. Then the third day, the same thing happens. You might get a few more words that are repeated, but you will also get new vocabulary. And what seems to happen nearly all the time I do it is that on the fourth day, you start to see more vocabulary being repeated. So in that context, you get to close to the point where you don't have to start learning new vocabulary again and again and again. You just get used to the vocabulary that you have already learned, okay? And you use it better. So it comes to the point where you've just stopped getting more and more vocabulary. If you were doing an interview for your jobs, the questions would probably be very similar after a period of time. I used to be the director in this school for short periods of time. So I don't want the job, but sometimes a director leaves and then I have to do the job. I'm the assistant director. And I have to do interviews. And I ask the same questions every time. Okay? They're basically the same question every time. The interview changes because of the other person, not because of the interviewer. You can prepare for that. Okay? You can prepare for that. I am not able to ask Charles questions for logistics. He now has an interviewer himself. And maybe it's my job to just guide you in the correct way, but you have a better interviewer than me. And we will do this 4 times this week, so 3 more times. You understand that? But hopefully we will be more efficient. Okay? And if you can, bring your computer and do it. Okay? You understand that? Okay, so that's enough of that rubbish. Okay, the next thing that I will give you is this rubbish. So here is ChatGPT language for service encounters. Okay, so customer service encounters. I left the prompt in that I asked for. I said, can you give me advanced functional language for the kind of service encounters a server, that's what like a waitress or a waiter, or a barista in a Dublin cafe or restaurant might experience. Okay? Now the reason I asked in Dublin is because I want you to get used to the kind of language that Irish people might use, and not Americans or Canadians or whatever, or New Zealand. Okay? I want you to read through this here and here. Okay? Just here and here. There's a list on both sides. Here, this one here, the other side. There we go, that one there. Very good. And there we go. Cheating on the board. How could Did you finish your conversation with sexy director Seamus, Wendy? Yes? That's very good. Excellent. Now just be careful, he's a married man. He's a married man. And I don't think I didn't notice that you closed the window. I will give you 4 minutes. If there's something you don't understand, work with your partner. So, Eri, you're in the group with Carlotta and Daphne. Ying Hong, you're with Liche. Girls, you're together. And Charles. Wendy, Carlotta is trying to be quiet and at the same time trying to attract your attention. So she's going like...
Yeah, maybe it's writing probably, but I'm not sure. I think it's
You can use the internet as well if you want.
Popping is writing.
Which?
popping your name down. Would you mind popping your name down? Just
The
for
word-
Irish.
No, I'd say English people do it.
Hey, when I go to the USA,
If I say, yeah, I think they would. If you
they
say,
understand.
yeah, but the word pop can be used in different ways. If I said, okay, stand up there. Okay, yeah. Just pop yourself down there, please. Pop yourself down there. See, pop in that case means like sit. Okay? Oh, I'm just going to pop out now. Okay, I'm going to leave. I'm just going to pop across the road to visit. It's a very, very common word, pop. Okay? And it can be used for a variety.
Popping your name down, it's write your name.
Write it down, yeah. And usually it means pop. What's popcorn? It's quick. It's quick, like that. Okay, that's pop. So usually it's like, oh, just write it down quickly there. Pop your name
The
down
most
there.
common use is to write or...
No. The most common use is do an action that's quite quick.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
pop down there, or I'm going to pop out, or I'm going to pop in, etc. Usually I'd say that's how it's used. Okay. So it could be a variety of different things. Listen for how often English native speakers use the word pop. And don't try to translate it like that. It won't make any sense.
Sorry.
I'll give you 2 more minutes.
I imagine that if you go to a restaurant.
Continue.
No! That's not.
You could get a lot colder soon. Which one is it? I see what you're doing. Where is it? Where's the house on the street? What goes down the street? Okay? You say a road goes down the street, it means you will really, really enjoy it. It tastes very good. Like you would say, oh, that went down a treat. Okay, so it might be alcohol.
But everything is flying.
So just to let you know, we're out of whatever today, but everything else is fine. So we have everything available. That's on the menu. Okay, but some things are not.
Flying is an expression.
Yeah, okay, but don't try to learn that expression as the common expression. It's the other one that is we are out of.
It does come with a
Do you understand that? Oh, don't worry about this. See it first. You need to go to the toilet, you What? Nearly every time I ask you to stand up, you say, can we sit down? Okay, right. Okay. So what's that? We're out of
I think it's
we're out of the fish today.
so that
It does come with a bit of a kick. Yes, but in what context? This is
it's
Alice,
very
if you
coffee,
say,
right?
oh, this whiskey comes with a bit of a kick. What's that? The whiskey comes with a bit of a kick.
It's strong.
Yeah.
It's
so-
not-
so like this. Oh, well, maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it, but it's like when you drink the whiskey, you go like this. It's like kicking you.
But
Oh,
it can also be like a help to something.
no, not for this.
No, I mean in general.
It just means it's strong. No, well, it could be, yeah, maybe very strong flavor. Okay, and maybe if it's alcohol, you're going, God, like that. Okay?
Is everything alright for you? Can I give you anything else?
Okay, stop. Okay, we'll go over the some of these expressions. Okay, so right, the first one then, Daphne. So if I said to you, I'll get you sorted, what does that mean? What do you think it means? You're in a restaurant or a cafe and the person comes up to you and says, don't worry, I'll get you sorted.
I'll find a table.
I'll find a table for you, or maybe I will get your food or whatever, etc. So they'll fix the problem.
service.
Yeah, I'll fix your problem, whatever problem you have or whatever needs you require, etc. Okay, if I said I'll get you a window seat. What's that?
That you are going to put like very close to the window?
Yeah, where do you not want to sit?
The entrance.
Where I sit. So I say, table for one, sir? Yes, it's me. Okay, let me bring you over here to the only table beside the toilet. Okay, you understand that? Okay, you don't want the toilet seat, okay, basically, okay? So you want the window seat, possibly. The next one then, if I said, pop your name down, I'm giving that to most of you. What's the word pop mean? Do something quickly. So if I said, okay, I'm just going to pop out, what does that mean?
You will quickly out.
Leave quickly. Okay, I'm just going to pop out. Probably I will return quickly. Okay? If you say, oh, I'm just going to pop upstairs, I'm going to go upstairs and probably I'll be up there for a short period of time. So it's a very, very common word used for many, many activities. And here they're saying, just pop your name down here. It's like an informal and soft kind of way of saying do something quickly. So you don't want to say, okay, now put your name down here quickly. Write it down very quickly. I'm impatient. Okay? They'll very often just pop your name down here. Okay? So they'll be polite, but they're trying to say be quick. The next one then, if I said, for example, we're out of the fish today. What does that mean? We're out of the fish today. There's a better word that Ying Hong used. Run out of something. So the expression is to run out of something. That means you don't have any more of it left. Okay? So we've run out of cream or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes they'll say, oh, would you like that with oat, almond or regular milk? Okay? So if you're in a barista in a cafe, they might ask you for the types of milk that you want to use. It says, it goes down a treat. If you say, oh...
Loved by everyone?
well, it means when you drink it or when you eat it, usually drink it, you go, oh, that's delicious. Oh my goodness. So maybe you have some cake or something and then you have, I don't know. I don't drink coffee, but maybe it's, oh, it goes down. I don't drink any hot drinks.
Because here it's a shit, I know, but...
Sorry.
So, I remember the first day, Carlotta. No, she's in your face, Andrew. In your face. Okay. Okay. So if you say something goes down a treat, it goes down very well. It goes down, literally goes down into your stomach, and you go, that's very nice. Okay. So that goes down a treat. If you say the next one, it says, oh, it gives you a kick. It gives you a kick. So I said to the girls there, if you're drinking an alcoholic drink, for example, there's almost an aftertaste that goes like this. Okay, so oh God, that gives you a kick. Okay, so can you give me any examples of drinks that would pack a kick? You might hear the expression pack a kick. Oh, that really packs a kick. Which?
Shot of coffee, shot of tequila.
Probably tequila. You have to be a very dark coffee. It's a very, very strong coffee, I should say. So you go like that, okay, etc. Okay, so whiskey. I tell you, there's a drink in Ireland called poutine, and it's like a potato vodka. So it's a potato drink or whatever. It's extremely strong. Like it's very, very strong. For a long time, it was illegal to sell it. Okay, and then they allowed it to be sold in controlled ways. But my father made it. And it's completely translucent. You can't see. It's like vodka. So it looks like water. And so you would have 10 bottles, and then one of the bottles would typically be water. Okay? I don't know what the tradition is about that. But okay, so, and I remember he left it in the attic of the house for about 20 years. It's unbelievable. And then he opened one of the bottles. And I'm not joking. I was about from here to the pillar, away from the bottle, like that. Okay? If I drank that, that would definitely have a kick. Probably it would have killed me, to be honest. But it would definitely pack a kick. Okay? It's like this when you drink it. Okay? It's, like that. Okay? So you might hear that expression, typically with very strong drinks. Okay? You wouldn't have it for milk or something like that. Next one then. It does come with a bit of a kick, just to give you a heads up. Now, what's a heads up mean in this? Give you a heads up. Why would you do that? Why would I say to give you a heads up? Okay, so think of it like this. What am I doing when I'm looking up? Why would I put my head up? No. To give you some idea of the true reality. Okay? So you know those meerkats, those animals in Africa that go like this, okay? So they have their heads up because they're looking for danger. Okay? So just to give you a heads up, is preparing you for maybe something in the future. Maybe it could be bad, maybe it could be good. For example, maybe you have a surprise party and you don't like surprises. So maybe one of your friends, just to give you a heads up, just be prepared for something when you go in the door. Okay, this is a heads up. So maybe, for example, Wendy comes in late again, and just to give you a heads up, there's a person waiting outside the door there for you, Wendy. Exactly. Okay, and it's not Evandro. Okay, so that's just giving you a clue about what's going to happen soon. Okay, now I will go over this after the break, and the reason I know it's the break, why do you think I know it's the break there, Alicia? Why do you think I know it's the break? Yes, because I saw Ying Hong going like this on her phone. Okay, like this. There it is. Okay, take a break.